never forget the day I first laid eyes on the house on Hollow Hill. It stood alone, shrouded in an eerie mist, its skeletal frame silhouetted against the dying light of the setting sun. I had heard the stories, the whispers that had circulated through our small town for generations, tales of the cursed mansion that had claimed the souls of all who had dared to enter. But I was young and foolish, and curiosity got the best of me that fateful evening. It was autumn, and the leaves crunched beneath my feet as I approached the decaying structure. The air was filled with a chilling breeze that seemed to whisper my name, beckoning me closer. The house loomed before me, its windows like hollow eyes, its walls seemingly made of shadows. I hesitated for a moment, my heart pounding in my chest, but the allure of the unknown was too strong to resist. I stepped over the threshold, and the temperature dropped instantly. Goosebumps erupted on my skin as I ventured deeper into the darkness. The floorboards creaked beneath my feet, a chorus of eerie groans that seemed to echo through the very walls of the house. I felt as if I was being watched, as if the very walls themselves had eyes that followed my every move. The house was filled with an unsettling silence, broken only by the occasional sound of something moving in the shadows. My flashlight's feeble beam revealed little, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was not alone. I called out, my voice trembling, but there was no response. I pushed on, determined to unravel the mysteries of this accursed place. As I ascended the creaking staircase, the air grew heavier and a musty odor filled my nostrils. The walls seemed to close in on me, as if they were alive, shifting and breathing with a sinister intent. At the top of the stairs, I found myself in a long corridor, its walls lined with decaying wallpaper that bore the faded images of people long forgotten. One door stood slightly ajar, beckoning me with an irresistible pull. My hand trembled as I pushed it open, revealing a room frozen in time. It was a child's bedroom, the remnants of a forgotten life scattered across the floor. Toys, long abandoned, lay in disarray, and a once colorful mobile hung lifeless from the ceiling. The air was suffused with an eerie, childlike laughter, faint but unmistakable. I backed out of the room, my heart racing, and continued down the corridor. Another door, this one firmly shut, seemed to radiate an unnatural cold. I grasped the handle and turned it slowly, revealing a room bathed in an otherworldly blue light. Before me stood a child, a little girl with hollow eyes and a spectral presence. She reached out to me, her voice a soft whisper in my mind. Help me. I stumbled back in terror, slamming the door shut and retreating down the corridor. The house seemed to come alive around me, the walls shifting and contorting as if they were trying to trap me. Panic set in as I raced back to the staircase, but the stairs seemed to stretch endlessly, each step harder to climb than the last. At the bottom of the stairs, I found myself in the same dimly lit foyer, but something was different. The air was heavy with malevolence, and the walls bore witness to the house's dark history. Portraits of the family that had once lived here lined the walls, their faces twisted in torment. I recognized the little girl from the room above, her eyes following me as I moved. Desperation gripped me, and I ran toward the front door, but it was no use. It refused to budge, as if it were locked from the inside by an unseen force. I turned back, and the house seemed to laugh, its walls echoing with sinister amusement. The child's voice filled my mind again, pleading for release, for salvation from this wretched place. I had no choice but to confront the source of the house's curse. I retraced my steps, determined to confront the spectral child and put an end to the nightmare. As I pushed open the door to the child's room, the room was bathed in that ethereal blue light once more. The little girl stood before me, her eyes no longer hollow but filled with a deep sadness. She spoke, her voice trembling with fear and longing. "You must help me, or we will be trapped here forever." With trembling hands, I reached out to touch her, and as our fingers met, the room seemed to come alive with a blinding light. I felt a surge of energy pass through me, and the house on Hollow Hill shuddered and groaned, its malevolent presence dissipating. When I opened my eyes, I was no longer in the house. I stood outside, the sun breaking through the clouds, banishing the mist that had shrouded the hill. The house on Hollow Hill had vanished, its curse broken, and the little girl was free at last. I walked away from that place, forever haunted by the horrors I had witnessed. The house on Hollow Hill was no more, but its memory would linger with me, a reminder of the darkness that can lurk within the most innocuous of places.